Long as you have to describe what you live, which is, it looks absolutely necessary or not necessary. It looks, it has to be like that. Step, you are still describing your experience. So it's an experience. And as such, it cannot be taken for it. And yet, I have no other words than, oh great, it's great. No.
Yeah, you just answered something for me, because somehow I had this question still, that urge, what you just said, that urge to describe something.
Yeah, but you cannot help. That's what I say. I don't say you to repress it, but do it because it looks, it's compulsory, it's like that, and it's even, here is a paradox, it's even maybe very healthy because it removes previous images and previous descriptions, which were probably less than this one. So, but still you have to hear, it is still a description.
Yeah, that's it. It's good to hear that, because of that I didn't say something, and actually I would like to say it.
Yeah,
because
you can't help.
Yeah.
Even if you don't say and you hear, you can't. In 10 years you will have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that, so you cannot repress it.
Yeah.
And no need to repress it. Because that description, I may, who knows, because of that let go, something will happen. You never know.
Yeah, because some days ago, when I just have to remember, when you said to me, you have to do it, and then you said, and be quiet. And for the first time, I felt I heard what it actually meant to be quiet. And in that moment I saw that the mind will never understand what that means. And prior to that I had an idea the mind understands what it means to be quiet. And because of that experience, that it entered somewhere where it hadn't entered before, that realization came that the mind cannot.
So why don't you keep quiet?
I'm saying it now because then I had this, exactly what you said before, then I had this idea, I'm not saying it because it's a description, but it obviously needed to come. I would have been quiet if I just wouldn't have picked it up, but obviously I picked...
It's very beautiful.
Because yesterday I saw something like an underlying tendency in my life, which I was not aware about before. It's like not a desire because it's not specific to something. Okay. It's a tendency to improve a life. It's to be more healthy, more happy, more more anything. But I so really could see that it's like if you have a computer program, it's
Yeah.
like a very basic part of it.
A background.
Background.
So
It's quite amazing.
yeah, and so now,
I don't know. It's,
yeah.
I just bring it.
Yeah, but that's great because if you see it, it can still maybe be there, but it will not have the power it had before because you objectified it. The identification is or no more or less. Yeah, very, very true. But that's why you went to Osho, because it fitted this.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I say. So, no, maybe only now. Bye-bye. It can take that time, you know. Because when something fulfills something deep in you, it's kept. It can be kept for years. It's amazing to see. But then you keep contact with something else, you keep contact and you keep contact. So at some point this has to be shaken also, which is done. Great. Hola, Rupa.
The tendency to search for liberation at the same time, and somehow it's not the same direction I can
Yeah,
see
no,
now.
sure. But that's what I say, to keep contact with the search of liberation allows you to see that. You know? Of course. Still, it's very human to do so. It's very human to do so. But it's different to take it as I need to be happy or to feel complete, or, well, it's instinctive. That's very different too. The intention is different.
Ganga, can strong tendencies add to veiling who you are? I mean, does that make sense? What I said?
It makes sense as long as you don't know yet who you are.
Yeah.
Because you believe that it can veil.
Yeah.
You believe it in some, in some reality in it. Otherwise, you see, once you know, realized, not only know, once you realize who you are, from where do you start?
Yeah.
So nothing can veil
No,
anything.
no.
Huh? Like when you see the sun outside of you, clothes can veil it. Once you are the sun, clothes or not, it's never veiled. You understand?
I do. So if there's still some search, is it important to try and remove those tendencies?
No, please. Don't.
No,
Don't work on that.
no. We had a conversation with Uma yesterday. I'm sorry she's not here. I wish she was here, but she said to me, "Oh, but you always feel guilty. You must get rid of that." I'm not. I don't mean against her, but I'm saying, I stayed with it, thinking, "Oh yeah."
You must get rid. I don't know what she meant by that.
Yeah.
But I would say, you must get rid of the belief it's real.
Yeah.
Not you must get rid of
That thing.
that.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Yeah. Very different.
It's very different. The first sentence, you must get rid of the belief it's real, doesn't even touch.
No.
It's just pointing out, be as you are just now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never touch what is not real. and you have a guideline. What is not real is whatever you can describe and see and feel and experience. So it's quite easy to demystify quite quickly now.
Yes.
You know, never touch those things, otherwise you reinforce a direction, a move, a basic belief that this is real. Then why not to make practice then? And why not to, I mean, you know, if you have a slightest compromise about that, then you have to make practice. You have to believe that practice will lead you there.
I wanted to clear it out because
No, I'm very happy. I'm very
I
happy.
didn't think
I'm
it's
very
possible
happy.
to
You
go in
see,
that direction.
we know a guru went to Lucknow, but he was already a guru before, and he believed to be sattvic. You guess already. He believed to be sattvic, but actually, I wanted to say it's not that gross as we think. It's because of that he believed that the strong tendencies, the vasanas, don't allow you to hear well. Well, I said something about yesterday, hear well unto yourself, but I can explain more if it was not clear. And those people, they have very good proof. They say, that's why nobody could hear Papaji, that's why this and that. There are plenty like this who believe that. But Master said differently. And I really stick to that. Really. It's really, as I tell you, you think the self is a bit away because you don't realize. So you always you have to achieve the sun. You see, you have to. And then, of course, there are clouds, strong tendency, vasanas, and so on. What to do? We have to ignore them, or they are there, the sun is still covered, so I know true knowledge. It's illusion, but yet I don't see it's an illusion, and so on. The fault, the mistake is that you feel away. You believe that all that, the sun, first of all, is not here now. Obviously a fact. Because once you are the sun, that it is a full bright blue sky, or there are clouds, that's no meaning. No meaning. So that separation, the feeling of separation is a mistake. It's a wrong view, a wrong notion. Not the rest. The rest will not change. Blue sky, cloudy sky. Blue sky, cloudy sky. Always coming like that. But you will not be an outsider of the sun. You will be very important.
Is this belief that the clouds are real will only go when you realize?
Yes. So meanwhile, you trust what you hear, and because of the trust, you get experiences that they are not as real as you think. Then you trust more and more. Yeah. Sure. First, I don't know if I am totally right with the word trust, because my experience was not that. When I met my master, he put me in the experience that I wanted to live. And so it was not a trust. I saw that is the master because of that. So I don't know, it doesn't happen always like this, of course. But so I guess it's a trust, but the trust fits your own intuition. Otherwise, why should you trust? You can also, I mean, people trust the religions and they are less. So it must be more than trust. It must be that it resonates what is in you. So you don't trust outside. Because I don't want you to be a believer, huh?
Outside, you trust something in you.
Yes.
This in me. With this, actually, you mean the self.
No, I mean the seeker who really wants liberation. You see, this search for liberation, it's something very strange in a being, because actually it's prior to his existence.
To the being.
Yeah. Still, I have not analyzed so well, but
No, this was
something strange there.
why I'm asking this, because immediately I had this movement in me.
Yeah.
And in me means, I mean, in this body and mind, but you know.
No, but it throws you prior. It throws you prior to that. It's the same like in satsang, the words somebody hears them, but it throws that someone who hears them, if really it works, prior to the being who hears, you see. I mean, it's the same move.
This is, to me, this is very rare. It is really rare that this happens.
It's
And that's why
but
I
doesn't matter. It's rare, sure. You don't need 2 times anyway.
No, I would like to stop this, that it's grass immediately, you know.
But maybe you will do less and less, huh? You see, once you become aware of something, it really loses its power. That something loses its power. Unless one reinforces the reality of it, but you hear the contrary, so it loses its power. Once you see something, suddenly you were identified, and suddenly you see it. And it loses its, I don't know, it's even attraction maybe. But it's like you see beautiful fruits at some distance of you in a basket, and so you're attracted and all, but you come near and you see they are porcelains or plastic ones. Even if it is beautiful, it loses completely the attraction of it. For me, at least. Yes, so it's the same. It's the same. Like there was an orchid in Uma's place. It was looking beautiful. And as soon as I knew it was a fake one, it still looked beautiful, but it's really not the same effect. It's so strange. It's always striking me, how come? Because it's the same beauty, aesthetic is the same, but behind it, probably there is no flavor, no life, no death. Eternity is not so attractive at all.
There's something unsatisfying inside. And
What could it be? What could it be?
the mind. It somehow got very much triggered when you spoke to me about the past, my past.
Forget the past.
It's funny, since then, I don't know, I just feel really in the
past.
Yeah.
It's a phantom. It's a ghost. It's a ghost. You believe in ghosts?
No.
I think you believe in ghosts. You believe in ghosts? Oh, I see. It's a ghost. You see, you have to forget the past, otherwise how can you be here? You can heal, but then it will immediately be swallowed or squeezed by the past, even if you hear pearls for you and that you love them, but they will be spoiled, they will be lost by the past. You have to get rid of that, and how? You have to see it's just... It is just what you are not. It is just the time and space and some story. All what we don't want to touch in satsang. Because it's exactly a ghost. It is not real. It is not present. It's a belief reinforced by ghosty people too.
It's so amazing because
No,
up
but
to
look,
that point,
I can hear you, but I say that. You don't listen. You immediately go back to your previous experience before speaking to me. You have not heard me. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You are not present. You see, your past, your experience is so strong of the past, and I say it's a ghost, and we joke a bit and all. And I explain you could let it go, but you come back to your previous experience. So what I said has no space in you to enter. So I mean, in this sense, you are not present in satsang. Even though there are moments where, sure, you know, you appreciate, you may experience, but it is too quickly squeezed by this past. Why you went to the present, to the previous belief? Why?
It's an idea to explain something.
But if you explain,
I hear
then
you.
it will never go.
Yeah.
As soon as you realize that something you were based on is fake or is unreal or is a ghost, as soon, just don't go back to it. This is action. I say sometimes action, you see. It has to be immediate. Otherwise, you have again to wait for a moment like this. And when does it come, we never know. Immediate. You have to be, for that, you see, the time cannot enter here. Time is a movement. It's too late then. Leave unfinished. Can you hear this?
Yes.
Leave your explanations, your analyses. As soon as you see they are not real, leave them at once unfinished. Who cares? Otherwise, if you always want to complete the explanation and to complete this, you will never ever stop. Never. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm happy, and you should be very happy to hear. Leave things unfinished. They're anyway fading away. You see that a cloud, perfect cloud, is finished or unfinished and then passes, then what? There's no value, relevant. It's not relevant. It's excellent, you expressed. I'm very happy. Okay. We are all unfinished. As an appearance, we are all unfinished in this world. Normally, we should have two noses. We have only one. It's a Belgian surrealism, probably.
Belgian joke. Some people here do have two noses. They're just one on top of the other.
Yeah, but you have to throw the ghost outside, so it's good to tell. Better to keep the ghost outside than inside.
Yeah.
So I fire it, and that's it. That's why you see, when you know already the answers in you, because you hear satsang since long and all, sometimes anyway it's good, sometimes it's no use, and it's But sometimes it's anyway good to express because not to keep it inside. There is no method. For example, now it's gone to, I just wish and I want to believe it's gone in you. So, to hear satsang and to keep the past at the same time, you have, let's say, some benefits, but you can't. You don't give yourself the opportunity to give the whole fruit. You just have a little bite, maybe. It's the same for those who follow many other interests, like, for example, shamanism or those things. They love it and also they like this, but then you see it is squeezed. Actually, realization is like this when it's unique. It's the unique. There is nothing which is linked to this hearing, for example. It has to be one-pointed. The interest has to be one-pointed. Otherwise, you get bits off, but it's not radical. It cannot be radical. I see that, no? Because I have seen quite a few like that. And it looks very, they love it here. But once they are in other circumstances, they love it also. So it means there are many interests still in them, which is totally okay for the world, but for satsang it's impossible. Unless one keeps one of the interests, of course. But then he remains a human being very rich in interests, with interests in things, which is okay, but it's not liberation.
This is to me it's such a shock because I didn't think I would carry this.
Why you carry still? Why do you still carry? So
But
now,
that's, I have to say it because I think that's where it is.
but leave it now. Leave it. You see, it is enough of awareness about this. Be shocked and forget why.
I find it quite shocking that one gives value to experiences, even while exactly knowing through discrimination that this can't be it.
So the shock is not yet so big that it just cuts it. Huh? It's amazing.
It's because it's just a different experience than normal life.
One loves experiences, you see. Till he dies, I mean, I don't even speak of physical death, till he fades away or whatever, because he was never there, but what can I say? He loves experiences. It's instinct of survival.
You mean instinct of survival of somebody?
He honors his birth all the time. One needs quite an amount of guts to maybe even imagine that it could be different, that reality is different. But strangely enough, never will be a time where you are without experience also. So realization is not that it will give you moments of no experience. It is just that everything is going on as it is. But there is nobody there to place himself into a birth or into a place. That's all I can say.